So in order to make this better, we said, let's change.
I think we just lost that.
Okay. I believe what Musa, who is a member of the Board of Governors of CFA Society Nigeria, is trying to say is that, okay, Musa is back online. Musa, would you like to finish your welcome address before we go on to the next segment of the program? Musa, you're on mute, please.
Yeah, I mean, the host needed to enable me to continue. So we have decided that this afternoon we're going to be making this meeting different. We are not going to have the regular 2 days boot camp. The first day that this afternoon, we're going to be discussing as a round table to discuss among ourselves, share experiences, and then see how we prop up member performance of the candidates. The second day, we're going to be having a portion of the day will be dedicated to the usual bootcamp. So I say thank you very much for finding time to attend this meeting, and I hope the deliberation will be fruitful. Thank you. Yemi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Secretary, a member of the Board of Governors of CFA Society Nigeria, Musa Bagudu, right there. The next thing on the agenda is going to be a very short presentation by the chair of membership committee, the committee that has the primary responsibility of supporting our candidates on behalf of the society, in the person of Shegun Jimo. I'll be sharing some slides on the screen for him to present. Shegun.
Okay, guys. Yeah, thanks. Good afternoon, all. Yeah, like Musa said, so this is a round table. It's like a conference where we just want to share some tips with you guys, what we think, or the factors or the things that we believe that is causing so much failure rate, right? That is reducing our pass rate. Yeah, just to let you know, the pass rate is the deteriorating pass rate is a global phenomenon, right? However, we cannot just sit and watch as a society and see that Nigeria is also part of this, and that's why we are coming up with this instead of us having the two boot camps, right? So yeah, so it will be a two-session thing in the sense that we are going to share the do's and don'ts, what we feel that is causing people to fail. Then we will also try to get feedbacks from you guys. How do you think we can help you more? Is it that whatever you need or whatever suggestion that you think you want to make, then you can ask us, right? So the first one is sharing this with you guys. Please, can you go to the next slide, please?
Okay.
So yeah, we separated this into do's and don'ts, and during the course of this, some of the panelists are on his call. All the panelists are here. If they want to chip anything in, they will also talk about this. The first one that we see is that people don't usually understand or finish reading the syllabus. Most of the students or most of the candidates, they rush through the syllabus, right? The curriculum, the exam is testing your mastery of the topic areas, which are now grouped into functional areas. So you need to understand that the weighting of the courses will affect your pass rates. So we have 10 topic areas, and these topics areas have now been divided into 4 functional areas, which are ethics and professional, tools, assets, and portfolio management. So like in the past, for some of you that have been or that have done the exam before, in the past, you will see questions from 1 to 10 ethics. They will be sequential, right? But the sequence now will be based on functional areas. Like for assets, where you have equity, fixed
Shagun, are you there?
each level. Hello? Yes, I'm here now.
Okay,
Hello, I think I got out of like a minute, right? So yeah, understanding the weighting of the course. The second one, you have to master the curriculum, like I said earlier. The exam is testing your mastery of the curriculum. So you don't have to rush through the syllabus. So we've seen in the past where students will say, I have the exam in June, I'll start reading in April or May. The exam is not like your Nigerian regular institution exam in which you do 10 papers or 4 exams a day. You can read 2 weeks and still pass. The syllabus are very wide, so you don't need to rush through them. The second one is that if for some of you that are attending classes or you are doing any thing, you must get the first-hand clarity during your classes. Even when you are having a boot camp, if you need clarity on some topics, you can type it there. It is better that you get the first-hand clarity than go home and be struggling in getting some clarity. So we've seen where people don't really understand some of the topic areas, but they believe that when they are solving questions or when other things are going on, they will get it. No, you have to get it firsthand. Another one which is very, very important is that you must practice as many questions as you can lay your hands on. The society, the CFA Institute, they have what we call candidate resources. You go there, a lot of questions are there, you need to solve them. Even at the end of each chapter in the curriculum, right, there are questions there. These questions are just giving you a guide. They are like a guide on how the questions will be set in the exam. And from my experience, CFA has not be far away from those guide, right? Either from the candidate resources or from the ones that are in the curriculum, right? The next one is understanding the format. Like I said earlier, the format has changed. They have changed. So you need to understand the format of your exam. See, the first shocker that we had was, I think it was during 2021, after the COVID era, that the format changed, especially for everyone. They don't even understand. They went into the exam thinking, oh, equity is this, fixed income is this, and they could not find all those questions arranged in the manner that they believe it to be set, right? So that can destabilize candidates. So for you not to be destabilized on the exam day, try to get familiarize yourself with the format. If you have any question or you need any support, you can email the society, right? The society. So in any case, they will try to help. Another thing which is very important is you have to develop it. Maybe it's going to be an hour per day, 2 hours a day. You cannot say that I'm busy and it's because of the busy and you want to go to the exam. No. So you have to develop your reading strategy. You have to ensure that the reading strategy accommodate the volume of work that is needed for you to pass. The last one, which is more for everyone. Hello? Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, Shagun, I can hear
Am
you
I still in
clearly.
his call?
I can hear you, but you are breaking off.
I was hearing him clearly.
How about now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Shagun, we
Is
can
it
hear
clear?
you clearly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's clear, please.
So, Okay, so the last one that has to do with the do's, it's mainly on mastery of the calculator. This is more for everyone. A lot of candidates in everyone, they go into the exam without even understanding the full concept of the calculator. And the thing is, from experience, 20% or 30% of what you do in the exam as a level 1 candidate has to do with the mastery of the calculator. For example, you can't calculate your cash flow in your accounts, in your equity, without understanding how to use the calculator. Okay, so somebody just sent something that I should repeat myself on the sequence of the questions. So what I said is, before we have topic areas, those topic areas, you go to the exam, then you see them. The sequence will follow each other. Equity, maybe it will be followed by ethics, etc. But now we don't have that. What we have majorly, especially for level 1 and 2, is functional areas. Functional areas are now into 4: ethics, portfolio management, tools, and assets. So for your portfolio management, for example, let's say it comprises of your portfolio and corporate finance. The questions will not be sequential. Like you will see first 5 for corporate finance, the next 5 for portfolio. No, they'll be intertwined. So the questions are based on functional areas, not on topic areas. So you need to familiarize yourself with those formats. So in case you have any question, in case you need any support, send an email to the society and the society will respond as appropriate. In any case, you can also go to cfainstitute.org. All the informations are there on the changes in the syllabus, the changes in the topic areas, the changes in the format. For example, now, financial reporting analysis is no longer financial reporting analysis. It's now called financial statement analysis. So you might get to the exam and just if you were like, what is this? A simple thing can destabilize you in the exam, right? So on the don'ts, if you are attending any lectures, don't miss lectures or be intimidated by, because our level of understanding varies. Some people are very good or they will have read ahead, or some people have even failed before, right? So when you are in class, you see them answering questions or this, and you will be like, I don't want to be the Olodo in class, right? You don't want to ask. No one is paying for your exams or your tuition fee. The thing is this: with the exchange rate in Nigeria, when you pay $1,000 for exams, about 600K. So and no one is paying that for you, right? The other one that we have seen in the past and that has increased exponentially is that students are scared of the exams, especially when during that COVID, right? Students are extremely scared. I don't know why you are scared. It's an exam. They just want to test your ability on how you are able to master a particular curriculum. So your level of confidence needs to be okay. So you need to talk to yourself and ensure that you go into the exam with the right mindset. When you are scared of something, you have already considered defeat at first. So we've seen this, and that is why we have seen a lot of people postponing the exams. So many people have postponed the exam more than 10 times, 5 times, 4 times. It's because you are scared. Whether you postpone now to 2024, you will still write it one day. So make up your mind. Don't postpone your exam. Be confident as much as you can. Cover the syllabus to your best of ability. Solve as many questions as you can. If you need any clarification, the society is there to help you. That's why we are there. And that's why we have a members committee, right? To give you members value. And other thing is that some people, now see, there are 2 categories, right? Some people are so scared that they fail. In fact, when they get to the exam, the questions that they even know or the topics that they know, they still fail it because they are so scared. While some go there feeling that they've understand the whole syllabus, they were overconfident and they failed. So what is here is that you have to strike a balance. You have to respect the exam. Don't be scared of it. And at the same time, don't be overconfident because the exam can actually humble you. So you have to respect it by giving it the needed hours and your time. Another thing is you have to prepare early. Don't rush through it. And this was the first thing that I mentioned when we started this, right? A lot, at least 35 to 40% of candidates, they rush through this syllabus. They don't start the preparation early. They rush through it. And another thing is when on the exam day, some students spend so much time on a particular question, especially when you know that question or when you know that topic area. Maybe in economics now, you know demand and supply. You are very good there. You just see a question, you not start calculating or start thinking. There is no negative marking. That difficult question will take more of your time, and you will not even be able to solve the simpler ones that can help you to pass. So, and that still boils down to overconfidence, right? When you know that I know this topic, I can't even solve this question. Then your ego, your overconfidence, that start coming into play. You are not trying to solve that question, and you spent about 5-10 minutes. That 5-10 minutes, that means that you have robbed other questions that might be simpler of the time that you will have used to pass them, right? And the last one is this: don't fast. I know all of us, we want to pass. We are trying to be physical and spiritual. Well, you might be a Muslim, you might be a Christian. The advice is fast before the exam day and fast after the exam day. Because this exam is 10 topic areas, right? They will test all your ability to think. If you are not well hydrated, your brain will not function optimally. So we've seen people that are fasting on the exam day because you need that hydration. You need your brains to pump well, and that's why even in the institute, he said that you can take a bottle of water. In fact, they provide all these dispenser for you everywhere in the whole world, so that you can drink, water, so that you stay hydrated, right? So please, don't fast on the exam day. If you want to fast before the exam. Pray to God that God should make you to have the right mindset as at that day. And after the exam, you can as well fast, right? But don't fast on that exam day. And another thing on the level 3 is that we have noticed that in level 3, students are scared of reading like scenario based. Or they're not comfortable. Let me use that word. They're not comfortable reading scenario based. And that's why practicing questions is very key. You have to be comfortable reading those scenarios, because your level 3 is majorly portfolio management. And they want to test how you will be able to give a professional advice to a client. So there will be so much scenario based. In level 2, you will have scenario based too, but not as much as level 3. So you have to be comfortable reading those scenarios. So probably some level 3 students, what you need to do is maybe you can take up some habit of reading articles so that you don't get bored, because some people get bored when they are doing exams, especially when they're doing level 3. So you have to be comfortable reading scenario based. You have to have the right confidence, and you also have the right mindset. And that's all we have. I think I've taken more than 20 minutes. Am I right? But I think it's
Yes, but I think it has been worth it. And thank you very much, Shegun Jimo, for the insights you have been able to provide. And I think some questions have been addressed, especially the one around the 4 functional areas. I believe Bukola has helped drop those areas in the chat box as well for our candidates to follow through: ethics, tools, portfolio analysis,
management
and
analysis and
asset
system.
classes. Yeah. So I think at this point, we will be, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, participants, there will be more than enough opportunity for you to ask all those questions. That is one of the major reasons we have set up this conference, to be able to address your questions, your concerns, and take your feedback. But we need to now move on to the next segment of the event, which is our panel session to address the new normal in the CFA exams. And I'll be introducing our panelists. I'll need to stop sharing now. I'll be introducing the panelists, and starting with the moderator of the session, Bukola Akirele. She's going to be anchoring this session. I also have Musa Bagudu, who is a member of the Board of Governors of CFA Society Nigeria, as one of the panelists. Shegun Jimo, that just presented, is the chair of membership committee, is also going to be a member of that panel. I have Promise Gold. Promise Godbold is a candidate in the CFA program. We thought it expedient to also bring one of the candidates to be on the panel. And also, we have Odiri Ogini. She is the chair of employer relations. She's also one of our facilitators at our boot camp for supporting our level 1 candidates. She's also going to be on the panel. I'll, at this point, hand over to Bukola Kirili to moderate this panel session. Bukola?
Thank you very much, Amy. I'm happy to be here, and I believe I'll be able to answer a set of questions that the candidates might have for us. Thank you, Musa, Shegun, Promise, and Odiri for taking time out today to come on the panel to help us. I'd like to start with a general question for everyone. And Yemi, are the candidates dropping their questions in the chat room, or do you have the questions already?
Yeah, some of them have, they are going to be putting their questions up at the end of this session to address to, so that any member of the panel can address those questions. Okay.
Thank you very much for that. I'd just like to ask a general question for everyone on the board, on the panel. I'd like to start with Musa. So actually tell us what was his greatest challenge while he was trying to prepare to be a CFA charter holder. Musa, are you on this call?
Yes, Buki, please can you take the call, the question again?
Sorry?
Can you take the question again, please?
Can you tell what was your greatest challenge while you were preparing for your
Okay, thank you, Buki. And thank you for having me here at CFA Society in Nigeria. For me, my greatest challenge was actually balancing between work, family, and studies. I started the CFA studies right. So after ICANN, I took some time, and then I've stopped studying studying for exams for some time. I got to a new department, and then I had to do this. So the challenge of the time was actually something different. I saw that CFA was actually very different from what ICANN was. Even in terms of the preparation, I tell you something else. So I had to find it. The challenge for me, actually, just to make it a summary, the challenge for me is actually about balancing between the work, family, and then the CFA studies.
With us? I think Musa is having a problem with his connection. Can Odiri take same question for us, please? Odiri, are you on the call? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Bukola, you are very, very audible.
Okay.
Odiri is on the call.
Audrey.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's time. I had a young family. I can say I went to the examination hall 3 times with pregnancy, my 3 kids at different points in time. So having to read, at that stage of your life, and at the same time, you're also working. So for me,
It seems the network
was
is not our friend.
basically managing.
Odiri, we can't hear you.
Managing family and at the same time trying to read for the exam. Don't cope with the. Can you hear me? Hello?
You're breaking.
Hello?
We can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I would say for me, it was basically managing the many responsibilities, work, family, and then at the same time studying.
I think Odiri's network is having.
Yeah, I think
having
the
some
network
network
generally is
challenges.
bad today.
Absolutely.
How about Shagni? Can Shagni take the questions that I move on?
Yeah. So
For
I
the
will not be able
exam,
to share
there's so
my.
many times when I had to go and write the exam. I remember my level 3. I remember writing level 1 with about 3 months pregnancy.
Hello.
Yeah, I think Odiri's network is not that great.
Yes,
And I
Shagni,
think
please take over.
Yeah, I think the network is bad because of the rain, right? All right. So, Bukola, you throw the question to me.
So, Shagun, can you take the same question?
Yeah,
Yes, can you
now
share with us the challenges you had while you were preparing for your exam?
The major challenge that I had was trying to balance, or let me say, trying to have a reading strategy. During that period, I had a very challenging job then. I was being transferred from one location to the other. And, in CFA, we have this curriculum, and we also have all these Schweizer and all these things. So I was battling with, should I read this summarized version, or I should just read the curriculum itself, right? And because I know that if I read the Schweizer, I should be able to finish on time and prepare for the exam. But would that be enough for me to be able to pass? So I struggled with this for a very long time because I could not have a balance. Anytime I read the curriculum or I read the Schweizer, I will still go back to the curriculum, right? To see whether, am I missing anything? Should I be able to do this or not? And during those periods, we didn't have all these tuition houses like we have now. So no one to really discuss with. You are just on your own. We don't even have a robust society that will say, okay, let's read. These are the people that you need to connect with. Unlike now, we have a lot of candidates that you guys can connect with each other. You can form a study group, share your strategy, and study together. Then it was like on your own. You just have to study on your own and read on your own. I remember during level 1 when we got to Ghana, Yemi and I, we were in the same hotel. We got back. That was the first time that we met each other. Actually, we got back and we were angry you were so angry because I didn't even know whether I would pass or not. Then that was the time that Yemi was now discussing, okay, this was a strategy that he used. This was what he used. So my own challenge was having to marry the summarized version of the curriculum and the curriculum itself, and having to have my own reading strategy, or to have like a study group. Because the way at which we all understand differs, right? Some people, they understand when they have groups, right? Some they can read on their own. I don't think I fall into that category. I still want to discuss with someone. What do you think? How best do you think we can approach this topic? Yeah. So my major challenge there was having a right reading strategy and also having people that are on the same pedestal as you, so that you guys can read together. So, but I think that Lagos and Abuja, where they can come together and read. Oh, hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Hey.
Shag, are you still here? Because I can't hear you anymore. But by summarize what the three of you have told us, our honorable chapter holders, I know Musa said his own challenge was because he was working, he had to balance work. Odi was talking about family. She had a young family. She was always pregnant, so she was writing her papers, And from Shegun couldn't balance between what to read and coupled with the fact that his job was actually very tedious. But I've loved to ask Shegun something. I don't know if it's back, because from the response she gave about your challenges, it's something I see often now with a lot of candidates that are writing the exam. You see them already going to a tuition house, and then you see them with the curriculum. The next thing you see with the IFT. Before you know it, you are sitting there with Schweitzer. They are sitting there with Mark Meldrum. And I always ask, how do you have time to read all this? Do you think it's information overload, or do you advise them to continue with all those things? Because you see people, we have the videos, are still going to classes over the weekend. You have like 10,000 questions to solve. Do you really think it's an healthy strategy for students to have all these prep providers coupled with going to classes physically and their curriculum? I'll pause it up to myself.
We can hear you absolutely well.
Yeah.
You're very audible.
Okay, my panelists, can any one of you answer the question for me, Musa, Shegun, or Ojiri? I understand Promise is the candidate, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Musa, Shegun, or Ojiri, are you guys back on the call? Because I know you guys had a problem with your network. Let me see.
I'm here, Buki.
Okay, Musa, could you take that for me? When Shegun was talking, I don't know if you were in the call then, he said he had a problem trying to balance between what to read. Maybe he should read his Strycer, or maybe he should read his curriculum and all. And I said, of recent times, now, in the past, there was no tuition house. So thank God the tuition houses right now, you see candidates going to tuition houses. But aside from the tuition house that are going to and the curriculum, you still see that you see them with Kaplan, Schweitzer, Mark Meldrum, IFT, videos, and all those, prep providers and all. Do you think it's healthy for them to, have all those things and they want to read it? Or what advice do you think you have for them? Do they stick to their classes alone, or stick to the curriculum, or have all this information overload?
Thank you, Buki. For me, I think the curriculum is good. When you have the curriculum, or you can just make a choice, especially for level 1. You have the curriculum. You can have that of Schweitzer, Kaplan, whichever one you pick. just make sure you read it. But for me, the most important thing is that make sure you go back to the curriculum and answer all the blue box questions and also the end of chapter reading, and then try the questions on the ecosystem. You have these CFA questions that are there. Some of the questions are actually the end of chapter questions in there. So try those. And then when you finish that, because I am a firm believer in doing a lot of questions. If you know, the whole idea of the CFA exam is to test the understanding of the learning outcome statements. And the best way to test understanding of the learning outcome statement is the questions, and that is how it is framed. So for me, the best way, don't get confused. You don't have to do everything. Do this, make sure you master the questions on the ecosystem. That is after a good understanding of the curriculum. And then you can actually do a lot of more. So if I finish with the CFA side, I can take Kaplan mock, I can take MM mock, whichever mock exam you have, try as many mock as possible. And that is it. For me, questions, you can never get it wrong with doing questions. I don't know if that is helpful.
Yeah, thank you, sir. To summarize what you said, do your curriculum, pick one of the prep providers to read with that, but ensure you do lots of questions, your end of chapter questions, your ecosystem questions, and any other question you can lay your hands on. Am I correct?
Yeah, I agree with, yes, I agree with Musa's omission, right? All those videos around, there's so much information overload, like you said, Nicola. But if you look at it, what the CFA Society is sending to you, the CFA is sending to you, is the curriculum, right? So the best thing is just stick through that, finish all those questions there, and solve all the questions that you can solve. I had similar issues, like I said earlier, before the internet went off, right? Trying to balance it, trying to have a reading strategy, that can be confusing. Yeah.
Thank you, Shegun. Now let me ask Promise, who is actually a candidate now. You know, you guys are, the old school, doing the old ways. Let's ask Promise, as a candidate at the moment, what is your challenge in studying for the next exam?
Okay, so for me, I think one thing that is, I had one of my difficult challenges in my level 3, right? I'm currently in level 3, right? Because I tried to use the methodology I applied in level 1, and I also applied in level 2 to approach level 3. And that was a disaster for me, right? And I did that twice because I've written level 3 more than once, right? That was a disaster for me. Reason being that my level 1, I wrote it once, level 2, I wrote it once. Then that level of, I was like, okay, fine, the strategy I'm using is working. And I tried to apply that in level 3, and it has never worked. And what was the strategy? The strategy was that I will read through the curriculum and I will solve all the questions in the curriculum. And 2 weeks before the exam, I will, because I always jot when I read as well. 2 weeks before the exam, I'll make sure that I revise everything I've read, right? And that for level 1 and level 2, what that helped me to do was that when I entered the exam hall, like everything was fresh in my head, right? It was very easy for me to articulate and answer the questions immediately. And because it was basically multi-choice question. And I applied the same approach in level 3, and it didn't work. Why? Because level 3, I realized that, as Shegun mentioned, is more of scenario-based questions, and you can't get it right in level 3 without solving questions, right? If you have read through the curriculum, you just have to solve questions, right? You just have to solve lots of questions. And I didn't do that. And I didn't do that all through this time I wrote level 3. I was still reading the curriculum, and if I get to the exam, I'll probably in one question they will ask, I will probably write so much. At the end of the day, I'm writing off points, right? And I've come to, I have to just do my research and actually understand that how am I supposed to approach this? Because all through the level 1 and level 2, I read on my own, and that was it. Same thing with level 3, but I needed to go and do research to understand what am I actually doing wrong, because it was unlike me writing the exam more than 2 times, right? I realized that level 3, you just have to solve questions, right? You have read the curriculum, fine. Get as much, as Musa mentioned, get as much more questions you can get and be able to solve as much questions you can solve. That's for level 3, right? Because that's been like a bottleneck for me. And yeah, for me, I think that's it, really.
Thank you very much, Promise. I want to ask another question, which any of our panelists feel free to answer. Now, since we moved to the computer-based exam, you can see that the level of pass rate have really gone down at the lowest since the inception, I think, or maybe last 10, 20 years. So my question is, because the curriculum is still the same. If you go through the curriculum for the purpose of particular courses, it's still the same as it is, maybe just 1 or 2 tweaks and all. So do you actually think that the change from paper to computer actually is the main determinant of the failure rate right now? Do you think so? Or do you think that candidates are not preparing as much as they used to because of the COVID pandemic?
So I don't know if I can take that. Maybe
please go ahead.
Other panelists can add to that too. I would say the major factor that exacerbated the failure rate, because yes, I think in 2021 we had 20% pass rate for everyone, which is the lowest since the inception of CFA. I would say COVID contributed a lot. And like I said during the presentation, people were just postponing their exams. So at a point, I think CFA stopped some postponement at a point that you have to write this because they were still thinking they would be able to postpone.
Shagun is having problems.
What?
No, we can hear him.
Okay, so at the point, CFA said, okay, you can't postpone more than twice, or you can't postpone this, you can't postpone. So they were not prepared. They were still thinking, oh, we can postpone. So everyone that they were denied they postponed, they were forced to write the exam without being fully prepared. So I can say COVID factor is there. That computer base, even if it will be a factor, I don't see it to be significant. You know why? The reason is that majority of people that are writing CFA, they are conversant with the use of computers, right? They are working in their various organizations, they know how to use computers. So I don't see that as a major factor. What I see as a major factor is lack of preparation and COVID. That is what I'm, so yeah, computer-based, I believe maybe some people are not comfortable reading like a long scenario for level 3. They are not comfortable reading like a long scenario on their computers. They might be distracted, etc. But that is not that, to me, it's not that significant. And that was why I advised that for level 3, maybe you can subscribe to some of these articles. CFA Society article is there. We issued that on a quarterly basis. Bloomsburg is there. Harvard, this thing is there. Maybe Economist is there. Just so that when you read on your system, you get more conversant or you get more comfortable reading scenarios on your computer system. Yes, computer might be, but I don't see it as a significant factor. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Shagun.
Okay,
okay, read. All right.
Okay, so the frame of mind definitely of candidates during this pandemic, I think is a major factor. Like he has rightly said, you know, today we talk about mental health. You know, people reading and assimilating in pre-COVID is completely different from post-COVID. I'm preparing for exam also, you know, so that could be a contributing factor. Then I would say someone like me, I like to read hard copy and I like to read paper. So imagine me going to write the CFA exam now, no matter how overly prepared I am reading the textbooks, you know, it's going to be different when I'm having to read, you know, on the screen. So I think the preparation methodology should be remodified to align with the scheme of the exams now. You know, tuition houses should not be teaching the same way they were teaching before the computer-based assessment. You know, they have to look at their methodology of teaching and bringing more technology into it to ensure that candidates are better prepared, because I believe to a large extent, most people are not used to reading on the screen. Most people are not even used to answering questions on the screen, and you can have issues with, oh, I'm trying to click this, so I'm trying to pick this answer and it's not going, and time is also, running out. So I think if the methodology of the exam aligns with the teaching methodology, it also probably help to improve the score. So, but I believe that the frame of mind and the technology factor is actually a contributing factor to the low pass rate.
Thank you, Dewey. Was I never anything too hard?
Yes, I don't know, I tend to differ when it comes to the issue of COVID, because I know immediately after COVID, so for the first exam after COVID, the pass rate was actually traditional. It was high pass rate. But then subsequently after that, we start seeing those very decline. So yes, one thing that I observed was, of course, they allow some people to just retake at the next sitting, and then you have a lot of people just scheduling and then retaking there. So you have so many exams rescheduled within the year, and then that effect of preparation came in. So if you say it's COVID, sometimes I look at it and say, for people who had that first exam after the lockdown, that first exam was good and the pass rate was fine, was about traditional. But after that, then the fail rate. So most about technology, and then most about what came out after that, like lack of preparation. When you prepare for a paper exam, it's a different thing. The frame of work, like what you said, should be different. And then when you are now preparing for an exam that is going to be virtual, it also has to have a different kind of preparation. I think that is what actually affected most people. But then I think it's sometimes I don't know. I don't know whether I should be saying this, but sometimes I feel it's actually way beyond this. Actually, there are some other things that we have not known. Maybe we need to have a deeper research on that. But then we have seen that those things have improved. The last exam that was just released was a good one. I think 43 for level 3, which I think is good compared to where we're coming from. We're not there yet, but I think the pass rate is improving. Thank you.
Thank you, Musa. I'd like to direct the question also to Promise, because we are saying what we think will be the problem. But Promise has been in both factors. He did, I think, level 1 and 2 when it was paper-based. Probably it's for level 3 when it was paper-based, and now it's really computer-based. Promise, you think changing from paper to computer has anything to do with your failing, aside from the fact that your methodology should have changed?
Okay, for me, I wrote level 3 May last year. That was exactly when they started using computer-based, right? And I was actually prepared for that exam, but when I entered the exam hall, I realized that the system they gave me, the desktop I was using was very small, right? So I have to click on the question, read the question, uncheck that, and move to the answer to go. But because I realized that some people had a bigger screen, whereby they had the question one side and they have the answer one side, where they can fill in the answer. But in my own case, I have to read the question, then check it off, go to where the answer section is to answer the question. And that, to a reasonable extent, took much of my time, because if I didn't understand a question, but I have to go back again, read it again, before I come back again. And I didn't say that contributed to my failure anyways, but I knew that was also a factor that contributed to that failure, because this computer was pretty small. I'm talking about level 3 now, whereby you have to read the scenario, then come to the answer to answer the question. I realized that some people's system, they had a bigger screen, whereby they had a question one side and they have the answer section the other side. So more like it was parted. But mine, I have to check off, read, come back, and that was also a major factor. So I think moving to computer-based to a reasonable extent, not To an extent, actually, is contributing to the failure for me. I think so. Yeah, COVID will be a factor, but also moving to computer based is also a factor, because I know that I had a friend, right, and she's 50 something years old, right, and she was scared to even go to the exam or to go and write. I have like two friends, right? She was scared to go and write the exam because it was computer based. She was like, promise, I can't use computer. How am I going to do it? Right? And she failed, actually. She failed the two of them failed. Right. So I think to a reasonable extent. So if they should make CFA should make provision for bigger screen. If this is going to be if it's going to be a pattern, they should make a provision for bigger screen, so one can have a divider whereby they can see the questions and also see the answer as well. Yeah.
Buki, let me just take something from what Promise said. Thank you, Promise, for Buki. Can I please?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, let me take up from what Promise said. I had a mentee that came to me and told me after the exam that what really happened was that they gave them a whiteboard, you know, this laminated paper, where they have to, and then the ink, the writing pen was sort of a big one, has a big mouth, and so you can't write and see what you are writing clearly. And she said, because that was level 3, she said that contributed to her failure, because at the end she complained about it. In fact, she told me before the results were released. So that, I think, that aspect of going to virtual, it's I'm just agreeing with what Promise said. The technology, the hardware that is used should actually be looked at. I agree with what he said. Maybe we need to practice more with those things before the exam.
Thank you, Musa. Thank God, Yemi said you're part of the board. Yemi, after this question for Musa, it's up to you to start asking the questions. Thank you. Let me say you're part of the board of governors of the CFA Institute Nigeria. Now, Promise said two things that I think are instructive, and I'd like to know what the CFA Institute Nigeria Society is doing about it. If you guys have heard about it before, or if you have not, what you're going to do about it now that you have heard. Now, the first thing he said was that in the exam hall, you realized that the systems were different. Some had a bigger screen where you could read and see your questions simultaneously, while some other people had a smaller screen that had to scroll up and down. Now, that actually doesn't give both candidates having two kind of systems a fair representation, because if I have it side by side, I'll probably be faster than someone that has to scroll up and down. And then secondly, what you also said about the board that has the ink that runs. Is there anything the CFA is doing about it to the general body to ensure that they have the same kind of system for all the candidates, especially the big screen systems, or for them to go back to the era of using paper and pen for their rough work, or get them a board and a marker that can be easily readable? Is there anything society is doing about that?
If I may,
Yemi will take that.
yes, I would like to take that, please. If thank you so much. And this is the essence of this kind of engagement we are having today, to hear back from our candidates on how we can better support them. Some of us have ended the charter long ago, so when it was still paper-based, and we are no longer current with this virtual environment that new candidates have to contend with. We have taken the feedback under advisement, and we are going to be engaging further with CFA Institute with regards to that. They have to choose vendors for centers, and they'll probably need to maybe firm up the quality control around the facilities provided by those centers, so that candidates can have good experience, similar experience. The situation where one system is different from another can be very, very distracting, and it doesn't provide for a level playing field, kind of. So it's an engagement we are going to be having with the institute going forward, and it's part of why we are engaging with candidates right now. And
Yeah,
I believe. Okay, go ahead, please. Yeah.
So, I mean, if I may ask this, how often do we check these centers to see whether they are still meeting our standard or not? Because from the feedback that I'm reading here, these guys are saying that the whiteboards, marker, and laminated, these things are not good at this. How often do we check these guys?
Okay, administration of the exam is actually the responsibility, so exclusive responsibility of CFA Institute. And the
Yes.
societies globally don't have any input whatsoever in it. So this kind of feedback that we have gotten right now will give us enough feeling to be able to engage with them regarding quality control around those centers so that our candidates can have better experiences with the exams.
Because I'm happy with all these feedbacks that we're getting, right? Because this will give us a flesh, right?
Absolutely.
So much. Yeah. Okay.
Back to you, Bukola.
Thank you very much. And before I hand over to you, Shegun, sorry, to Yemi, I just want to also say something. I want to reiterate what Udiri said, that the tuition houses also should change their method of delivery from paper-based to computer-based. That would also ensure our students are also more prepared to do the exams on the e-learning platform. So for those of us that run tuition houses that are here, please let's take it back to our tuition houses. Let us know that we should also start, we should change is constant in life. We should change our mode of delivery so that we can better equip our students for the computer-based exams. So Yemi, over to you for the questions you already have from the candidate.
Thank you so much, Bukola. You are still moderating. My role here is to get the questions. So it's now, the ball is now in the court of our candidates right now. You are the reason we are having this engagement. So it's time for you to bring out all those questions and comments that you may have so that we can take note of them and start to act on them to better support you all in your CFA journey. So you can raise your hand, unmute yourself, we'll recognize you, and you can address your question to any of the panelists on hand to be able to answer those questions. Alternatively, you can also drop your questions in the chat box. Ujunwa Ukeke has raised hand. So Ujunwa, can you unmute yourself and quickly ask your question or make your comments? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for this section. Sometime last year, around February, before those writing level 1 February had their exams, there was a section by the CFA Society where there was a 2-day revision for them. I remember that because I participated either February or May, but I was writing in November. So by October, in preparation for my November exam, I remember sending out an email saying that I've not seen anything like that for those writing in November. And then I was told that it wasn't put in place. So I don't know, it was a very good section for me. It helped prepare my mind if that could be put in place, not just for level 1. I mean, we've progressed to level 2, and then hopefully we get that for each of the, or if it's not happening for each of the levels or each of the diets, it will be pre-informed, like the candidates will be pre-informed that we're just having for those writing in February and August, so that people don't say, oh, it's not my diet, let me wait till my diet to participate. Thank you so much.
Wow. So, Shegun, do you want to address the question?
Yeah, let me react to that. Thank you. Yes, we've tried to ensure that the boot camp is robust enough, and I'm happy that you said you are happy with what you got then. Yes, fine. So part of the plan is to actually have that kind of session for all the levels as well, both level 2, or to include level 2 and 3 to the level 1. But one of the challenges that we're having is the facilitators, right? We have to ensure that our facilitators are there. We don't really have much facilitators as well, because all those facilitators that you are seeing, they are based on volunteering. We are not paying them. They are volunteers. So we need to ensure that they have the time, right, to be able to do that. We are pushing, we are trying to push for that, and we will continue to. It's part of the plan for 2022, at least to have level 1 and 2. Then by 2023, we can now have 1, 2, 3. It is part of the plan. But we have some, like I said, the volunteers, they need to be on board. We also have to ensure that those volunteers are of the right, because you might pass the exam, you might be intelligent, brilliant, and you might not be able to pass across the message, right? So that is what we are trying to scout for now. The second part is, last year in November, yes, we didn't have that boot camp, partly due to everybody, the society, the membership, everyone. Musa, I can say Musa was the only one pushing that let's have this, but there were a lot of programs for the society at that time. In fact, we intend to do this thing that we're having now in November, because we were all shocked when we start seeing the incredible, don't let me use incredible, the poor pass rate. So we were like, how do we approach this? Is it this or that? So we were shocked at that time. We were trying to get the feedback of this. The society were having a lot of programs at that time, and that was what made us want to have that program at that time. And on the second part, be rest assured, we are going to start having level 2 and level 3 soon. However, like you said, it might not be for all the diets because of the volunteers, their availability. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shegun. You have actually hit the nail on the head. Our constraints are around facilitators, because we don't want to just host boot camp just for the sake of hosting it. We want to be able to impact positively on the candidates that are going to be partaking. And we are actually a small society. Our facilitators are doing it on a pro bono basis. And we have to have the time, they have to have the time to actually deliver something that will be impactful to candidates. Going over to Ayewo Elizabeth, can you unmute yourself and ask your question, make your comment?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Ayewo. Please go ahead.
Can everyone hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
All right, so I'm able to ask 2 questions. So as per the drop in the pass rates, could it be that the MPS, minimum passing score, has been increased? Now I'll give why I'm asking this. When I read my level 1, I worked with like the barest minimum. I used like I think I took 2 months to study. This exam is not that hard. What's going on? So the minimum passing score has increased. And then another question I have is, what is the benchmark? Now explain. I read with the ecosystem. I study with the ecosystem. I do all the questions there. And then I work with the range of 60 to 65 for all the topics. So in my head, I'm like, once I have 60, 65, I'm all right, I'm good. I did that in my level 1. And then I used that same method level 2, then I failed. And I'm like, so what is the minimum range? Should I be working with 70? Should I be working with 75? Should I be working with 80? I don't know if I'm communicating.
Thank you, Ayewo. Musa, would you like to help out with responding to that?
Yes, I will start with the range. I would say what we usually advise is work with 70. We said that we said over the years, we have not seen someone who has scored 70 or to and failed the exam. That's what we said over the period. So I would say work with 70. So whatever you're doing, you're targeting to have above 70 line, and that should be fine.
Okay.
Did I miss the other question?
Ayewo?
The second question was talking about if they've increased the minimum passing score.
Yeah, so when I was responding, I can't say there's nowhere where we read that the minimum passing score has increased. When I was commenting, I said there could be some other factors. I don't know. I don't think Yemi will come here and tell us that it has increased or reduced or whatever. We'll go with the official statements that we have from the institute.
Thank you. From the chat box, we have Tolu Ajayi. I believe that question has really been addressed. He's asking about the pass rate for level 1 that it has dropped over the years. Could you please comment on this? Because it's now discouraging to write the exam. I believe many of the panelists have weighed in on that particular question. Uba Sinachi Eleonu put 2 questions here. Is there some explanation as to why? Okay, it's still the same thing. The second question, is there an opportunity to become a student member of the society? We actually have a category of membership reserved for candidates so that they can start enjoying the benefits of being members of the society while they are writing the exam without waiting for to earn the charter. So there is actually a category that we call candidate members category that you can use to become part and parcel of the society. You can go to our website to check out how you can register, or just do a mail to info@nigeria.cfasociety.org. Abdul Karim, you have your hand on. Can you unmute yourself and ask a question?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my own is I have a question and an observation or a suggestion. I've seen that the panelists have talked about the issue of using a marker and a laminated plain sheets. I've actually taken 2 of the exams using the computer system. The center I've used in Abuja was actually a bigger screen where you see the question on one side and the answer on the other side. It was actually okay. But the rough work, initially when we use that one, the first time, they use paper and biro, which you can write your rough work, and it's perfect. But this second one, November, they use this laminated paper and the whiteboard. You can't even write. You can't even see what you are writing. Actually, I have to drop it. I use my computer. I use my calculator to store a lot of figures, and which actually affected my timing. So if the society can engage a CFA Institute to see that, either to bring it back, the paper and biro, so that people can write legibly and see what you are writing. That's one. Secondly, on the level 3, I'm currently in level 3. So I want to ask, I've seen the many strategies and people are making, but what's actually, especially this scenario-based questions, how can you actually go about it while studying and while answering the questions in the CFA Institute website? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abdul Karim. The first part of your question, we have taken note of that one, and we'll be engaging with the Institute with regards to that. Then the second part of your question, to address it, we'll probably, in conjunction with, we'll probably be having specialized sessions for each of the levels to address the peculiar needs of each level. Like level 3's candidates' needs will most definitely be different from those of 2 and 1. So we'll organize something and communicate it accordingly to you to be able to. You can also reach out to us in the society to maybe also help out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
If I may add to that,
Please go ahead.
Karim, when you are solving that scenario base, what I normally advise is this. The first thing you will do, don't read the questions yet. Go to the, don't read the scenarios yet. Go to the questions first. Read the questions, then go back to the scenarios. So I can assure you, by the time you are reading this scenario, the answer to those questions will be coming bit by bit. So by the time you go back to the question the second time, you should be able to have an idea of how best to answer it. But like Emi said, we'll definitely put some things together and see how we can address you guys' needs for various levels. Yeah.
Thank you, Shegun. I have a question in the chat box from Olubenga Success. He's asking about a source that can be recommended for the calculator. Shegun, you want to address that?
Yeah, we've received this couple of times, where some candidates will even get the calculator to be bad. After 6 months, they can't get it again, you know. But what I would say is this: if you need calculators, check some of our sponsors. When you're in Fruit Camp, you'll see names of our sponsors there. Ask them, approach them. If you don't know the names of our sponsors, send an email to CFA Nigeria. So the society will send you the list of the sponsors that we have. All the sponsors, they are usually tuition providers. They should be able to get you at least a quality calculator. Yeah.
So, any additional questions? And by the way,
Hi,
our
Yemi. So
sponsors.
someone sent a question directly to me. Maybe it was a mistake. It came to my direct message, so I can read it out. It said,
Please
good
do.
evening, everyone. From Brown Godwin. Good evening, everyone, and thank you to our panelists. Please, what advice would our panelists give to a level 1 candidate coming from a non-finance background, example, law?
Thank you. I believe I'll be in a great position to answer that question, having come into CFA program from a non-finance background myself before I end the chapter. So it's the same way you would actually approach your law program. If you adhere strictly to all the advice being given by our panelists here and going through the curriculum, going through all those service providers, going through question banks, mock the ecosystem, and staying the course. I'm sure at the end of the day, you'll be able to become successful with your exam. It's not I believe it's if you put in the work, you'll get the results at the end of the day. There are so many non-finance people that are in the program. We have medical doctors in the program, and we have some people from social sciences too that are in the program, and that many of them are also charter holders like myself. It's just the dedication that you need to put into it that will determine your success about it. Your background does not really have any significant role to play in whether you pass CFA program or not. It's your determination to pass and the preparation you put into it. Thank you.
Yeah, let me add something to that.
Thank you, Godiri. Go ahead.
Okay, so thank you for that question. That person that asked that question, I was really intrigued by the background of the person in law. We see different, but this is my first time of saying law. So what I would say is, one of the things that's common about CFA is the rigor. And rigor does not differentiate whether you are from law background or finance, or you're a doctor, or you're an engineer. The most important thing is that it's a rigorous exam. So the way you approach it, if you approach it from that mindset that this is a rigorous exam, I need to put in my best to be able to be able to pass the exam. And also don't look at the exam from a point of view of disadvantage because you're not a finance person. I hear a lot of people say, oh, how do I do financial statement this or, equity? No, don't look at it from that direction. look at it from the point of view that this is a rigorous exam, like your law exam you write in school or any other exam, and then you put in that mindset. You'll be surprised that the way you read it and understand, your perspective will be much faster than even people who are in finance. And we've seen a lot of people in finance who write the exam for a long time, and we see people who are non-finance who pass it 1, 2, 3. So look at it from that perspective that it's a rigorous exam, and I need to approach it from that direction and work hard for it to be able to achieve it. But in no way are you in a disadvantage.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Odiri. Shegun,
Yes.
you want to weigh in?
Odiri, that is a very fantastic reaction, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that was my line of thought. Thank you for this. But the other thing that I want to add is, for a law student doing CFA, you should see it as an advantage.
Absolutely.
Honestly, by the time you're a CFA charter holder and being a law essay, you will understand how to even draw up some financial contracts for some of your clients. It's a very solid advantage for you. In fact, one of the things that I'm planning to do when I have money like Yemi and Odiri is to go and study law. So see it as an advantage, not a disadvantage. Yeah.
Thank you. Shegun, thank you so much for that. Any more questions? We have
There's one more in the chat room.
Okay. Oh, okay. Who's asking this question? Let me see. Ulugbenga, success again. Can one get the printed books too without having to order directly? Like I said sometime earlier, that the exam is the exclusive preserve of CFA Institute. So you have to get your books from CFA Institute. I don't think, I'm not aware of any other place where you can legally or ethically get those books other than from CFA Institute. I don't know if any of the panelists have any other opinion with regards to that.
No.
Okay, Mariam Dabanija. Hi, everyone. Do you have a question? Okay, thank you, Gloria, for adding that in the chat box. We have some books in the library in Lagos. However, some changes may have taken place in the curriculum from the time we procured those books and now. So the best source of those books still remain CFA Institute. And when you register, it automatically comes to you with the rest of the package. So any more questions or comments or some ideas? We have had a lot of feedback from candidates that we are going to be acting on subsequently. Shegun alluded to our sponsors for bootcamp, putting the bootcamp program together. And our sponsors are tuition centers that provide tuition services to support CFA candidates across all levels. And without any order whatsoever, I'll just quickly run through their names. I think in Abuja, we have First Quartile in Abuja. We have Numero Index in Lagos. We have New Frontiers in Lagos. We also have
Pure Factor Learning Center.
Thank you very much. I was about to ask you, Gloria. Yeah, Pure Factor Learning Center is also in Lagos. Those are tuition providers for CFA exams, and with regards to the question of the calculator, that's why I'm mentioning them again. And you can get authentic, they can help with those calculators. I believe we have some more questions in the chat box. Oh, okay. I think this is Shegun or Bukola's area. Somebody is asking numero index. We've mentioned numero index. Shegun, can you weigh in on the four functional areas again? It was something that candidates were harping on when you were making that presentation. Miriam is also asking again.
Yeah, it's they're just four: ethics and professional, tools, assets, and portfolio analysis. Let me see if I have something here. It might be old. It might not. It's not that old, right? Let me know. Can I share my screen?
You should be able to. So under those four areas are the 10 topics. Okay, ethics is still there under that ethics. I think under tools, quants is there, and economics, I believe.
Economics.
Then
Yeah,
under
Okay,
economics.
assets, you have
let me
all
know the
those four asset areas.
Derivatives.
Ethics, fixed income, corporate finance. I believe corporate finance name has been changed now, and
That's corporate
alternative investment.
issuers.
Thank you
That is
very
corporate.
much.
Yes, corporate
Yes,
issuers and
yes, corporate
financial
issuers.
reporting analysis is now financial statement analysis. I don't know whether you can
Yes,
see
it's no
my screen,
longer
right?
FRA, but it's still
Yeah,
We
the
can see your
same thing.
screen.
yeah.
You
These
can
are the
see your
functional
screen.
areas. These are the four functional areas. This is ethics and professional. The tools is quant, economics, and FSC now. Portfolio management is CI, corporate issue and portfolio management. Asset is equity, fixed income, derivatives, and alternative investment. Yeah. These are the functional areas. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, Shegun. You can see on the screen the weightings and the functional topic areas for CFE exams. Okay, somebody puts in a question about the library. So we have our library in Lagos, situated at 17 Adewale Kolawole Crescent, Oniru. Candidates can, upon registration, it's free for candidate members, but for non-candidate members, you can walk in. There is a small fee to be paid. We open Mondays to Fridays. We have not in about 2 years since COVID opened over the weekends because we have not had enough demand to justify opening over the weekend. And for our candidates in Abuja, you will soon be able to visit our office at Leadway House around Central Business District. We also have a library here, and I believe people in Abuja too are even in more dire need of a library space for them to study. And there are many options in Lagos, but there are less options in Abuja. So we have a library space that you will soon be able to come in to use on the same basis as Lagos Library is also under use. Okay, some questions are pouring in. Okay, Odunayo, Adebayo saying he's just hearing about. Maybe you are not in level one. If you are not in level one, you may not have heard about the boot camp because it's still strictly focused on helping level one candidates. But like we said earlier, we'll expand the scope to other levels based on when we get those facilitators in place and sponsorship to be able to organize and expand to those other levels. So Miriam Adabanija is also asking again that for candidates that are not currently working in the finance industry, industry. I want to transition into the industry. Do you want to?
Yemi, we lost you for some seconds. Can you take the question again? I'm not sure.
Okay. I was posing the question to Odiri to help address the question. So Miriam is asking, for those that do not have finance background, want to transition from non-finance roles to finance roles after they have received their charter. That's how can we advise? I was asking if Odiri would be kind enough to weigh in on that question.
All right. Thank you, Miriam, for that question. So I think the first thing is to have interest in switching, because it's not really about the CFA qualification or the exam that you have passed, because whoever you're working with or employers want to know if you really have the interest or the main motivation is just the CFA. So once you have that interest, what that does for you is that, it goes beyond the CFA exam for you. You are reading about the finance industry, you are reading about areas that, you want to really build a career in. And then the next thing is to begin to look out for internship, because if you have accumulated experience in a particular area and you feel, okay, the CFA qualification is not, it will not suit you best in that area, and you want to switch to other area, that experience might not be wasted, but it will be good to have internship in the areas that you are looking to go into. And then thirdly, what I would say is also find a way to align your past experience with what you have learned in the CFA program. Because the truth is, I came from an accounting background. I worked as an accountant or a finance person, not a core front office, core CFA, core finance, but I was able to marry my core accounting background with what I've learned in CFA, and use that to be able to transition. So the truth is, I don't neglect the experience I currently have. Look out for internship opportunities where you can gain experience, without, you may have to sacrifice pay or maybe take a lesser pay or pay cut, whichever way. But I think the most important thing is that you have interest in the areas that you're looking forward to. And once you begin to build capacity in that area, people will not necessarily look at how many years of experience you have. They will look out for your interest. They will look out for what you have been able to do. And then to a large extent, the CFA already adds value to you. But it's not something that, you can get all at once. It's a journey. So be prepared also to work in the place that you are currently working while also working towards where you want to go, and, enjoy the journey along the way.
Thank you so much, Odiri. I'm still going to have you on the spotlight there because this next question is actually for you as chair of Employer Relations Committee. Anthony Aigokan is asking whether after the exams, okay, let me just read the question. Do we have a career or job fair in Nigeria, as most read for exams but don't know which career to choose? So, Jerry, over to you.
Interesting. So I think that, we have the annual CFA career fair, but I think that we have not incorporated a job fair into that. Maybe it's an idea that we'll take and see how we can incorporate a job fair into the career fair, such that, we get people from different career finance or finance in career, and they come to talk to us about what they do. So you get an investment banking person come to talk about what they do, get somebody in private equity, get somebody in asset management, in funds management and the rest, and they come to talk to us about what they do. And so maybe from there, you can see which, do I have an interest, or does my personality or interest or long-term goal align with any of these areas? So I think we can take that job fair as an idea that we'll see how to incorporate in our career fairs going forward.
So, Odiri, it is actually part of what membership is trying to work on with you guys, right? Where maybe the older members will also be talking about their career journey, what they
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I already discussed this with you, right? So, yeah, it's part of what we will work on. And also, guys can also be checking out this CFA Society website. We have a website where this internship and etc. advertised, right? You hear me right? Where they can go there, they will see what is happening there, then they can apply for the internship. And I'm sure that you guys are also sending out an emails on available internship or jobs, right?
Absolutely. Hello, Shagun. I think can hardly hear you.
I think it's you.
We
I
lost
think
him.
your network is not that great, right? Or is it mine?
That is yours.
I said the society, their website, there is a list of internships, available internships are there, right? And also you guys normally send out available jobs, internship, that they should watch out for those things and be able to pick the ones that interest them if you want to switch for finance, right?
Oh, okay, Shagun. So we send out those things to members. We have candidates here. Maybe candidate members that are also members of the society may also get access to those. But our website, I think we host some other things there that may be open to the public. But those internships and other job opportunities are exclusively for members that we send to. But we'll take note of this and see how we can also extend to other candidates as well. Godwin Akimbo is asking about phone numbers. I believe you'll see it. You can go to our website. You'll see how you can reach us there. www.cfasocietynigeriaNG.com.ng. What is the process for an ICANN member to join the institute? So it's the same process for everybody, irrespective of whether you are a member of any professional organization or the other. If you are a candidate, if you are an intending candidate, you just have to register with the institute, get your number, and register for the exam, and you are already a candidate. And you can also, as a candidate, like I said earlier, join CFA Society Nigeria as a candidate member and proceed through the 3 levels of the exams, earn your charter, and become a full-fledged regular member of the society. Okay, we are rounding off gradually. We are almost reaching the end of this first of its kind candidates conference to get feedback from our candidates, and it's been a very, very eye-opening event with a lot of feedback that we have gotten and that we are hoping to engage the institute with. Further, in order to be able to further support our candidates, and it's been something that it's a conversation we've been having in the society about the fact that like for instance, we have a library in Lagos for people around that area, and we just opening another one in Abuja for people in Abuja. How about our candidates outside these two areas? What are the kind of supports that the society is putting together for those kind of candidates? So now we are in the process of revamping our website, and we're having a section, a forum on that website where candidates can band together and form subgroups and be able to share insights amongst themselves and form study groups uh, and be able to help one another in this their journey to earn CFA charter. We'll be advising that as soon as the website is done and how the rules around becoming a member of that forum, so that you'll be able to have advantage of knowing who are the other candidates in your level, in your area, that you can also reach out to and get insights from. And occasionally, there'll be charter holders dropping in on the forum, giving their own insights as well, and other benefits that will be accruable from getting everybody together in a group will be open to anybody that is going to become a member of that forum. So just look out for that. Check out our website and register to become members of the forum. I think we are beginning to round off. Esther Ogundano, how much does it cost to register as a member of the Institute and registering for CFA Level 1 exam? It's an open information that is available to the public. If you go to CFA Institute website, you'll see the cost of the exam there. Maybe one information that I may share at this point is that to be able to support candidates, we are working on how it will be easier for candidates to make payments for their exams, given the capital control policy of our regulator in that space. So the society is engaging with the institute currently on how candidates can better be able to pay the fees for their exams. I think at this juncture, maybe I'll hand over back to Bukola and Shegun to give the closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Yemi, for a job well done. I would have wanted to ask the panelists what advice do they have for intending candidates, but that question is not going to be necessary because that has already been answered. And I'm also grateful to Gloria for all the responses that she has given in the chat room. For everyone that needs more information, kindly visit all the sites that Gloria had put up in the chat room to know more about the CFA Institute. And from Gloria Mudamai, it's very heartwarming to know that you found this conference very, very fulfilling, and we are able to add more confidence to you to ensure that you pass your next exam. And also thank you, Ujunwa and Olayinka. I'd like to give the president of the member society the floor to give his closing remark. So at this juncture, Yemi, I'd like to call it a day. And I also thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to moderate this panel. It was so fulfilling and I really enjoyed myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bukola, for taking time out to help moderate this session. I also like to thank all our panelists. Diri Ogini, great job. Shegun, great job. Musa Bagudu, thank you. Promise, you have dropped off for another event. Our candidate panelist, I would like to also say thank you to him. Shegun, handing over to you, chair membership, to give closing remarks so that we can end the session.
All right, so thank you all. Thank you so much. And I'm very happy that this has been very engaging. And I can see that you guys have seen that all your concerns will definitely be taken into consideration. And I see a lot of messages saying that you guys are happy with this. And I think from my end, we need to do this more often, maybe like biannually or quarterly, because I can see that there's a lot of things that we don't know from the candidate aspect that is actually contributing to the failure rate. I'm telling you, this is the first time that I'm hearing that they could not even see what they were writing on the whiteboard. I didn't know. So it's good. So we will continue to engage you guys. And thank you so much. And we wish you well in your journey to the CFA Chartered holder.
One last thing. Thank you, Shegun. One last thing. We have tomorrow, specifically for CFA Level 1 candidates, we are having some of our facilitators come on and facilitate on some of the topic areas. I believe we have fixed income coming on. We have ethics coming on. We have portfolio management. We have economics. and derivatives. Those are the subjects that will be taken tomorrow, and this is specifically addressed to CFA Level 1 candidates. So see you all tomorrow, and everybody else, thank you so much for sharing your time with us, and we'll be seeing you on the forum on the website to continue with our engagements. And like Chegun said, we'll be hosting this on a regular basis going forward. Thank you so much.
If you've made a decision to aim for a long-term and successful finance career, taking the Chartered Financial Analyst CFA exam and studying the curriculum is an excellent way to ensure you have a strong knowledge base and top-notch skills. Are you ready to take the bold step to invest in yourself? CFA Society Nigeria is at your disposal, promoting the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria. As an affiliate of CFA Institute, CFA Society Nigeria seeks to promote the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria and to provide a vibrant community in which its members and other key players in the investment industry can interact and grow. When you have the CFA Charter, you're globally recognized. Take advantage today by writing the CFA exam and joining us at CFA Society Nigeria. For more information, visit us at cfasocietyn.org. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.